well, just as long as I get there safe, like I really don't care. Like,
Well, that's
whatever.
what submission is. That's what submission is that you.
Down that I think everybody is at some point deserving to receive love and to be even into marriage if they do aspire for marriage.
I believe that society shapes how we view things and how we look at things in our life.
Make your own bed. And that's basically what Kevin Samuels is saying. His delivery is what people kind of throws people off. But basically,
aggressive or like violent, like where I think toxic masculinity is
no offense to men, that they also get this idea that, you know, women are just going to take care of them and everything is going to be like easy.
A domestic violence shelter, and he brought her up to be, you know, a $25,000.
Hell yeah, you need to judge in dating. It is what it is. You know, you can't not judge people just because you feel bad about it. Like, you need to know.
As much as I love my daughter, there are some harsh realities and some things that her mother and I teach her in order to help her to understand.
Like, I'm sure everyone knows a woman that, you know, had sex with her dick all the time.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Clement back again with CKQ Podcast. Doing a little quick half-hour segment today off of a little story that I read off of Reddit. So I might start doing these a little bit more, just small little half-hour segments. Anyone feel free to join, but here's a quick story that I was actually reading where it started off with this woman had, she said she was having problems with her back and she wants to start stretching out. So as she was stretching out, she just came out of the bathroom, so her towel fell off. Her boyfriend was looking, and that's how the story starts. So let me read it. She titles it, Body Rights in a Relationship. What do I say? All right. She starts out, my back was hurting after a shower the other night, so I sat down on the floor to try and stretch, and my towel slipped off. My partner leaned over the bed to look at me. I said, I don't really want to be oogled right now. My back hurts. I'm trying to stretch it out before bed so I can go to sleep. He said that since I'm naked and we're partners, he can look. I asked him again to please stop staring at me because I just want to finish stretching my back out without feeling eyes on me. We got into a huge argument. My partner got very upset, saying that since we are together, his body is mine and mine is his. That there has to be sexual attraction and intimacy. I understand that. But he doesn't think I should be able to tell him to not look at me whenever I feel like it because it's some weird right of his to be able to watch me whenever he wants. What do I say to him? He even tried to justify him wanting to watch me stretching by saying I was asking for him to look because I was slightly naked. So I just kind of want to start it there real quick. I didn't really understand why that was such a big deal that she decided to come to the internet out of all places, to Reddit out of all places. Because she is talking about her partner. She's not talking about some random person. She's not talking about some guy on the street. She's talking about someone she's actually in a relationship with. So she's in a relationship with this person, but doesn't want this person to look at her at any point in time while she's naked. So it's not even that whole idea that she's naked. It's the idea that she came out, she's stretching, she had a towel on, the towel fell off, the partner looks at her, she gets angry. Like, you cannot look at me. So now a huge debate comes from that. I don't understand how that makes any sense though. Because in the whole comment section, a whole bunch of people were telling her about how, he's the scum of the earth. It's like he's completely wrong. He shouldn't have been doing that. Blah blah blah. And I'm just sitting here thinking, why is everyone making him seem like this terrible guy for looking at his girlfriend while she was naked? I get it that she was stretching. I get it that her back hurt. But I think the way it was approached was poorly done. Poorly done. Oh, thanks, Amanda. Yeah, I recently edited that together. I'm going to do a couple more different ones of those, but it's definitely going to be fun. So LJ was in there. LJ was in the intro. So rewind it. He'll like that. But anyway, going back to what I was saying. In the comment section, a lot of people were giving him a lot of heat. It is okay and normal not to want to be oogled when you are in pain and feeling vulnerable. You were stretching to relieve pain and he was using it as entertainment. No one owns someone else's body, and you certainly don't owe availability of your body to anyone else. I get it. But I think the bigger problem is the whole idea that she feels such disdain towards him for him looking at her. I think he probably could have handled it a better way. I think he probably could have asked, like, hey, are you feeling okay? Or she probably could have said, I'm not feeling well. But the whole idea that him looking at her while she was stretching naked with a towel on. First, okay, let's address this real quick. She came there with a towel on, and the towel slipped. She's completely naked. How? Oh, just saying. Have to rewatch and let him know to check it out. Yeah, definitely check it out. Dropped him in there. I figured he'd like that, so he'll probably like it. But anyway, going back to the Reddit story. The whole idea that she was in front of him stretching and her towel fell off, and she was angry at him for looking. Like, what world are we in that it's crazy? Like, I get it. She has the right to be angry. Maybe. There's a lot of different ways to take this. I just don't understand how she is so absurdly angry at him that she created this post, and that there's a whole bunch of people telling him about how he is wrong. Like he's some terrible person for looking at his naked girlfriend, a naked woman in front of him. If there's any kind of, as a guy, as a heterosexual male, if there's any woman that's in front of you naked, it's gonna be very hard for you as it's gonna be hard for you to pull your eyes away, I wouldn't say. But you still gonna have to turn your head. But if you're in a relationship with that person, I didn't really think it would be that asinine, I guess. So again, it makes no sense to me, this story, that she can come out of the bathroom in a towel, the towel could fall off. He looks and she gets angry. And then goes online, writes a whole post, and everyone is saying about how she's right. He should not have been looking. Them get into a whole big argument about how he has no right to be looking. I think that there's a much bigger situation inside of their marriage or relationship than the fact that he was looking at her naked. It's a lot deeper issue than that. There's definitely a lack of communication. That's what I saw from that. Huge lack of communication, and a lack of communication, a lack of trust, really. And from what he said, it sounds like a lack of intimacy. Because if he's that quick to try to look at her, she's that quick to try to turn him down, and then it blows up into a quick fight that easily, then there's probably something wrong with that. But I don't know. I don't think Also, I got a lot of hate for my comment. You don't need our permission to tell someone not to oogle you, and you certainly don't need his either. It's more noteworthy that while you were in pain, he didn't ask how he could help or get you an aspirin. Instead, he made an issue of you not wanting to be sexualized in that moment. I got 143 upvotes. Jesus. So I will halfway agree with that one, as in, like, yeah, he could have asked if she needed any kind of help. I still don't think he's a bad guy. I think that this story was written from a one point of view to make him seem as if he was such a bad guy. It doesn't matter what it is. Everyone is posting their lives on social media. Folks need to grow up, and next time, tell her to put on some fucking vagina. Yes, thank you. Yeah, that was my whole point. It was kind of like how are you going to be sitting in front of your partner naked and then get angry at him for looking at you while you were naked in front of him, your partner, someone who you sleep with? Does that make sense? Am I crazy? Am I tripping? I must be. But it was wild. The whole comment section was just a whole bunch of people just going crazy and telling him, "Oh, he's such a bad guy, such a bad guy." I think it's a huge feminist movement. No, look at that. Someone agree with me. I'd agree if it was a passing glance, but when OP told him to stop oogling her, then that should have been the end of it. Also, having your towel slip when you're in the same room as someone isn't even close to getting naked deliberately in front of them. I agree, but again, this is your partner. He could have handled it better. I'm not gonna excuse his behavior. She blew this far out of proportion. I don't think they're in a stable relationship. I really don't think they're in a happy relationship, happy marriage. Whatever it is, I just don't think it's a good situation for both. But I'm genuinely curious though, because there was just far too many people on there that just agreed to kind of end the relationship. And I think that's a big issue that we have in this society right now, is that a lot of people have a problem in their relationship and they're very quick to post it up on social media. And on social media, you're always going to get the worst kinds of people to try to interject themselves into your relationship. I think a lot of people now want to put too much of their drama and too much of their issues out there, as opposed to, I don't know, getting offline sometimes and communicating with your partner what actually is the problem. I think in this society, we have a huge issue with communication because of phones. I mean, they definitely made life convenient, easy. Social media made it much easier to do business with people, to keep in contact with people, find friends, family all around the world. It is a great tool if used properly. I think in this generation, or not even this generation, I'll say the marketing of social media is to get people addicted to it. And it's still an untested, no, it's not untested product. It's just something that is just it's too addicting, man. It's far too addicting from early 2000s to now. Like, people are really too hooked onto social media that you can find really anyone's life on social media. And a lot of what they do is right there in front of you. And when it comes to putting your problems out there, it's probably not good. When it comes to dating, it's definitely not good, because now you're talking massive amounts of options. A lot of people have issues with options when you have too many options. So I think about it like, I learned a little bit of this in sales, plumbing sales, when I was learning sales for plumbing. You can't give people too many options. When there's far too many options, it's an overload. People lose it. But You always got to give a good, better, best. This one is okay. This one will cover the most important things. The top one is where that's the luxury item. If you go to McDonald's, they have a small, medium, and large. Small, okay, that's gonna be for the kids or a light day. You don't really want anything. Actually, I haven't been to McDonald's in a very long time, but from what I remember, the fries is actually very good. But I digress. The small in is very good for like a light, quick meal. The medium, that's something that a lot of people will usually get because it's good enough. It's not too much. It's just enough. And then the large, that is small and large are usually you got to be going for that one. If you're extremely hungry, you're going for a large. If you're not so hungry, you're going for a small. But most people are going to hit a medium, happy medium. And that's the same way you got to kind of approach it with options. It has to be good, better, best. And with social media, there is no good, better, best. It's just here's a flood of options, or even social media with dating. Here's a giant flood of options that it's all there for you. And take your pick. It's your pick of the litter, and it's just information overload. It's just too much, and people just can't handle it. Actually, early on when I was learning how to do sales in plumbing, that's what they were telling me, and I made the mistake a couple of times, whereas I would go to a customer's house and give them 4 or 5 options on how they can approach this problem. And I would literally see the panic on their face the second I'd show them, like, oh my God, like, what do I do? And then I shortened the list down to 3. And even then it was good, but it was very much, they were still conflicted. Shortened the list down to 2. And now all I ever use is 2. I have the easy way, and then I have my recommended way. Easy way, it's a Band-Aid fix. The easy way is, okay, here is, if you want to get by for the weekend, we can do this. And then my recommended way is, here's how I'm going to do this. Here's how I'm going to fix the problem for you and ensure that it's never going to happen again. And ensure that every time you see me, you're going to be happy because you know the problem is going to get fixed. I don't know how that can happen for social media with social media though. I don't know how that can be. What's a good, better, best for social media? They're probably more self-control. A lot more people would need self-control. A lot of people would probably need to physically step away themselves. I think generations from the 90s can do that. The 2000s, early 2000s, they're probably going to have a problem with that, because now you're talking about kids that were raised with an iPhone. You're talking about kids that were raised with YouTube. You're talking about kids that the second they are bored, they open up something and just start throwing information in their head right away. And that's what happens when you post social media. She's telling us she's in pain, but did she tell him she's in pain? Seriously, yeah. Seriously, lady, get your personal life off social media and go. Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, she immediately went to social media to tell the world about how her boyfriend is such a bad person because she had a towel on and her back hurt and she started stretching and her towel fell off and then he started looking at her. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's crazy to me, but that's what we're dealing with in this world. There's a new world that we're in, a new society that we're in. It's definitely going to be tough to raise kids in this generation. But I think that'll be my ramble for the day. Yeah, I got a nice 20-minute ramble in. I think I'm pretty proud of myself for that. And yeah, I'll probably do some more of these. Read some Reddit stories, see which one stands out to me, which ones I want to talk about. Have you guys join me on that, and then we'll call it that. But other than that, enjoy your night.